Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Stupendous Wave, and in this podcast series that we have come up with, this is all about Star Wars, and I'm aware that there are other podcasts that revolve around Star Wars, and they're all like the Jedi Council, or they all mostly have something to do with the Council, but this podcast is the Rule of Two podcast. We figured since there's a whole bunch of really Jedi podcasts out there with a whole bunch of council members, Jedi council members, we figured that we would kind of be the smaller one out of all of them and be the Sith that are in hiding. So this is the Rule of Two podcast. Welcome everyone to the Rule of Two podcast, the very first one. And I am here with my apprentice, Anthony, or we talk about stuff.
I'm an apprentice?
You are an apprentice.
I thought we were both Sith Lords.
Hey, I got the Darth Plagueis philosophy. It means that once your training is complete, I view you as an equal, not as an apprentice.
So who am I? Am I like Vader?
You're like Palpatine. And
I'm Palpatine?
Wait, you're whoever you want to be, bud.
I just want to have a lightsaber. I don't care what my title is. Just give me the lightsaber.
But yeah, this episode, we just kind of wanted to do some general talk. Maybe some Battlefront talk, some spin-off movies that we'd like to see, and of course, The Force Awakens. We actually did record a whole podcast, which I think went really well, about The Force Awakens. Unfortunately, the file got corrupted somehow, and it was we were unable to upload it to YouTube, regrettably, because I think you guys would have really enjoyed that. But now we're here. Yeah, I had a good time making it, and we will do a full Force Awakens podcast later, but like I said, this one's just kind of a general Star Wars talk because we're Star Wars fans, and right now we're as excited as probably I've ever been being a Star Wars fan. Just Star Wars is all around. There's so many fans. There's more fans of Star Wars now than there have ever been before, and that's fantastic. The more the merrier. And I'm just very, very excited. Yeah. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about a little bit of the philosophy behind being a Sith and a Jedi. Because actually, I feel like I'm actually in the minority here. But I actually really like the Sith a whole lot more than the Jedi. And Anthony knows this because all the time we're just talking. And I'm always talking about how much I just love the Sith. And how much...
So weird.
Yeah,
you're gonna kill somebody one day. You identify with the villains.
Hey, dude.
Like, you're not supposed to watch Star Wars and go, I really think Emperor Palpatine is pretty relatable. Like, that's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's not what's supposed to happen. I am a Sith sympathizer.
Okay.
Anyway, so I just kind of want to start off this conversation. Let's go ahead and talk about Battlefront 2, because that's really big. And also, real quick, I will be going through some of my Star Wars videos, comment sections at the end of this video, and we'll be looking through reading some of your guys' comments that we got on some of those videos, and for future Rule of Two podcasts, which we hope to record many before The Force Awakens, and of course we'll continue after, because we're getting a Star Wars movie every year until, what, 2019?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm sure they're going to run to like 2045, but we only know about it till 2019.
Yeah, we only know 2019.
And Rogue One comes out next summer, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so it's not even a full year.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
We can actually talk about this real quick. I heard a theory or like a rumor that there was going to be a Rogue One end credit scene for The Force Awakens.
Yeah, I heard that too. And honestly, I don't mind it. I don't want a bunch of different film franchises to adapt the Marvel end credit scene method. Yeah. But I do feel like this would be an okay scenario because it's not like an end credit scene for its own trilogy. I like Star Wars to just end where it ends, but it's just promoting Rogue One, which I think is important because I think even though it's a Star Wars movie, you need to get more people on board. It's not your classic Star Wars movie, so I'm actually fine with that.
Which is why it's awesome. It's kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man 2
X-Men thing.
He's a future past thing. Yeah, really. Kind of. It's a little bit more connected than that. But for those of you that don't remember, there was the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and credit scene was like a trailer for Days of Future Past.
Yeah,
Which is pretty interesting.
From what I understand, that was like a Mark Webb, like, broke out of a Fox contract, and they were like, well, you need to do something for us. So it's like, put our movie in your end credits. This is more like, we just need to help our movie.
Yeah, and which is interesting because Days of Future Past didn't need any help at all.
Yeah, it didn't. It did really great, and it's a much better movie than The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, but that's beside the fact. What do you think the end credit scene for The Force Awakens could be?
Honestly, I think it's going to be a lot like... You remember the first Avenger, how the end credit scene was just basically a trailer for Avengers? I think that's going to be the way they do this, because nobody knows any of these characters from Rogue One. Maybe they'll show a clip of Darth Vader.
Well, Darth Vader, maybe like Obi-Wan might show up. Probably not.
Or they could do like X-Wings and Death Star and all that stuff. They could show any little clip and then just have Rogue One. But, I mean, if you really think about it, though, Rogue One, if it comes out in the summer, when The Force Awakens comes out, it's about time there would be a trailer for it. Right?
A trailer.
It's about 6 months. That seems to be the window for studios to release their trailers for the big movies. But so I wouldn't be surprised if it was just kind of like a 30-second trailer. But it could just be anything. I'd like to see.
It might not even be new footage. It might be the trailer that they showed. Was that Celebration?
Yeah, it was that Celebration, which was never officially released. So that's very possible.
Oh, yeah. But that trailer, I don't know if it's still on the internet anywhere, but that's awesome.
That's a really cool trailer. And that's a movie that's directed by Gareth Edwards.
Say that again?
Isn't that movie's directed by Gareth Edwards, correct?
Yeah, who did Godzilla.
Yeah. I thought the visuals were really cool. Just seeing the Death Star, like, over the sunrise, but it's like, it's so weird looking. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe it's out there.
And Sir Alec Guinness's voiceover.
Yeah.
Talking about... What was he talking about? The Empire? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But that Death Star, man, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that with modern visual effects.
Also, Darth Vader is bound to show up in that movie. Because they said
I can't imagine him not showing up.
Yeah, Rogue One is supposed to, lead into, the opening of A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, they won't escape us this time. Darth Vader says that. Obviously, that's a little bit spoilery for Rogue One, I guess. I guess they escape to some extent.
Yeah.
But they also say a lot of good people died to bring us these plans. So who knows what exactly could happen. But Rogue One, it's going to focus less on, the whole Jedi Sith thing and more on, how does a war like this affect the average person?
Yeah.
Who has to enroll and fight, which is interesting.
Yeah, I really like that a lot.
And, again, huge battlefields. People were talking about it's going to be Saving Private Ryan a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like a Star Wars Saving Private Ryan scenes.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want anything quite like the Saving Private Ryan D-Day scene in Star Wars, but...
That D-Day scene is a little too graphic to put in a Star Wars movie. They shouldn't go that, far down the spectrum. And the way it sounds, do you think this is going to end up being a PG-13 Star Wars movie?
Yeah, I honestly hope The Force Awakens is going to be PG-13 as well, because I was talking with you and we were like, what was the last PG blockbuster that came out? And then was it Attack of the Clones?
It's Attack of the Clones, because Revenge of the Sith is PG-13. It's the only Star Wars movie that's PG-13. So the whole idea of this movie is bringing it back to the original trilogy style. So in my mind, it's I think they would have made it PG. But I just I don't know how that would work with audiences, because I don't remember the last time I saw a PG blockbuster.
Yeah.
Other than animated movies, but
I don't think it's going to matter much anymore.
Yeah, it probably doesn't. The audience is so big with PG-13.
Yeah, I remember it was just huge news when Star Wars Revenge of the Sith was PG-13, like they announced it.
Yeah.
It was on the news. I remember watching it.
And it's PG-13 for good reasons.
Yeah, that movie's dark.
That's a dark, messed up movie in a lot of spots.
Yeah. Also, we saw Finn. He says, it's not
no.
big. Yeah, he says like hell in like a TV spot, but like that's like the least offensive swear word.
Yeah, I know. It's really nothing. It's just
if
weird.
You even want to consider that a swear word.
It seems like that word has never been in any
in
of
the
Star Wars.
It might have been. I can't remember it being.
It just seems out of place. I'm not gonna judge it until I see the movie.
Yeah, you were actually saying that trailer's awesome. You just hope that take.
Yeah, like it would be cool if it was a different take, so I don't have to be like sweating at night about how my life could be ruined by The Force Awakens if it's bad.
It's not going to be bad.
I have full faith in it, but boy, does it have power over me.
Yeah.
Which just I thought it would be a cool thing to bring up. I just told you this a little while ago. But Star Wars The Force Awakens has already grossed $50 million in pre-sale tickets.
Which is crazy.
Isn't that amazing?
That is
most movies opening weekend plus a few $1 million.
That is very, very impressive. That is pre-sale tickets.
Wait, would you say that it's impressive? Most impressive.
Oh! Say it is. I love that Darth Vader fight. Yeah, but I think
sorry.
I think it's gonna be PG-13. I'm just gonna call it right now. I think it's gonna be PG-13.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think it depends on how gruesome the Han Solo death scene is. But honestly, it wouldn't faze me either way. I'd be fine if it was PG or if it was PG-13.
I think I'll be a little bit shocked if it's PG. In all honesty,
I think I'd be a little shocked if it was PG because there's like no swearing in Star Wars.
Yeah.
They never. I'm not gonna just start swearing, but I mean, that's I think what gets most PG-13 movies their PG-13 rating is the swearing. So I mean, even if the way I think about it is like if they just made their movie and there's no swearing, I don't think they had a goal for PG or PG-13. I just think it's like the MPAA is going to see it and just be like, yeah, this is fine for everybody. There's no cursing, It's a little violent, but it's like fun, Star Wars violent spaceships and stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be darker scenes, but even the Lion King has some dark scenes.
I just hope that they went in and made the best movie possible.
Yeah.
And with the MPAA, they're just like, if it gets PG, great. If it gets PG-13,
yeah,
great.
That's what I mean. I don't think they went out after any specific rating. I think they just wanted to make their movie. But
well, I wouldn't be surprised if they had a specific rating in mind.
I mean, if it wasn't, if it's not R, I think that's what they would.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff you could get away with, but I guess it doesn't really matter.
Can you imagine if Rogue One was rated R?
Do you think we'll ever get a rated R Star Wars movie?
No.
We're finally getting a rated R Marvel movie.
Well, with Daredevil. Deadpool. What the crap am I saying?
I know it's
Deadpool.
Not Disney, but still, it's like...
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the audience for that will show Disney that you can make a rated R Darth Vader Star Wars movie. That would be hard. Yeah. If there's no cursing, that would be really difficult.
To make a rated R Star Wars
movie? That'd have to be one bloody movie.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any rated R movies that like don't have swearing in it.
What about 300? Is that rated R?
Yeah,
it is.
Pretty sure. Yeah, that doesn't have swearing in it.
Yeah.
I doubt we'll see nudity ever in Star Wars.
Yeah,
I think Slave Leia is the closest we're ever gonna get.
And honestly, do we need more?
Oh wait, yeah. Oh my gosh. I was like watching like this thing. I didn't actually look up the scene, but in Return of the Jedi, there's a nip slip.
What?
Yeah. Apparently there is.
Is it in the special edition or the theatrical edition?
I'm not sure, but like I heard someone talking about it, and I was like, maybe. I didn't actually go look up the movie and try to find it, even though I totally could have. But apparently, like, it's in Jabba's palace, which of course it would be.
Yeah.
And,
Where else would it be?
It was like one of the dancing girls.
Oh, anyway. Really?
Yeah, like the alien girl, like the blue one.
It wouldn't surprise me. There's like some weird stuff with Star Wars, like in the first Star Wars, George Lucas made sure that Carrie Fisher didn't wear a bra, like the entire time they filmed.
That is kind of
because weird. In his head, like they wouldn't wear bras in space. So Carrie Fisher just was forced to not wear a bra. So there's weird Star Wars stuff like that. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Every franchise has its weird little things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think that we'll ever see a rated R Star Wars movie. That's just like, no, probably not. Just because I don't think that, especially Disney, would even allow that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it were going to be a rated R Star Wars movie.
Wouldn't it be great if Disney made a rated R movie and the Disney logo came up, but it was all like dark and like totally changed, so it's not like this little castle, like fire and black and like just something really like evil looking, like rated R Disney. They could call it like Disney Dark. Be awesome.
Disney Dark. Yeah. We've actually talked about this a few times, but we both expressed how sad we are that we're actually not going to get to see the 20th Century Fox logo before the movie.
Yes, isn't that crazy?
It's just like
Star Wars
of
tradition.
The Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Like, I don't know. It's just like always watching the films. It's like.
Yeah. You hear the. Yeah. And then after that happens, it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Yeah. And then. It's like this epic minute of just, oh my god, it's about to happen. And then now we're going to miss about 30 seconds of it.
It's not a big deal.
It's not, but it's just a little sad.
It's just like a thing that it's just like, they're not going to be able to put the 20th Century Fox logo in there.
This is the biggest, like,
as Disney.
First world problem
I've ever heard. Is the biggest first world problem ever. Where's our 20th Century
Where's
Fox
our
logo?
30-second we're like, complaining that we're not going to see a studio's intro in front of a movie. But
it's really small, but
it is sad.
It's just like childhood stuff.
I remember hearing something about this a while ago, and somebody was like, why can't they just make a deal with Fox? Like, listen, we'll give you $10,000. Can we play the intro in front, even though you didn't make the movie, just for the fans?
That would be bad. Maybe. I don't. What logo are they gonna do? Just like the regular Disney logo?
I don't know. Did Bad Robot have anything to do with this movie? I doubt they would play a Bad Robot logo in front of it. Because I know that J.J. Abrams' company is Bad Robot. And
yeah. It doesn't freaking matter.
It doesn't matter. Honestly, it would feel a little out of place though to me, just because it's like, what's the Bad Robot thing doing here?
Yeah.
Like that little red guy. Unless they changed it to BB-8. If it said Bad Robot,
so cool.
If it was,
I would love that. Or like R2D2.
Yeah, but if they did that, I'd be like, okay, you get a pass today.
That'd be awesome. But I feel like going back to Rogue One, I think that that's going to be a very different Star Wars movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Than what a lot of people expect. Like, it's going to be warfare for Star Wars. And the biggest warfare that we've really seen thus far is Hoth. And that's it.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like, Endor, kinda. Not really. Not really on the level of, like, Hoth, but, like, big warfare, rebel versus Imperials,
there was
walkers going around.
There was a lot of scale to that Hoth fight. And it stuck around through all of the, culture of Star Wars and Hoth. Like, if you ever, like, watch that movie, or if you ever play a video game where you're on Hoth, there's always scale to it. It feels like, oh my god, this is horrible. Like,
yeah,
we got to get in these little spaceships and we got to tie cables around these AT-AT's legs.
Yeah, like snow speeders.
Yeah, like
they aren't even like
tauntauns,
they can't even go
wampas,
in space.
Like, and everything is the same color. Like they're so well camouflaged where it's just impossible. You feel like anybody could die at any moment on Hoth.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a battlefield, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Rogue One is going to try and recapture and give us new battlefields.
Yeah. You know what I like about Rogue One, too, is that it's not going to get a sequel.
Yeah.
They're not going to make a sequel to this movie, so this movie is like, they're going to tell their story, and then the story is over. And we don't need a Rogue One TV show after this. We don't need, Rogue 1.5, like the unseen horror, whatever they would call it. I don't know. It would be friggin' weird.
Yeah, it's going to be Rogue One, and that's it.
Yeah. I swear, if they ever made a movie called Rogue 2, I'd throw a fit.
Wasn't this movie supposed to be originally called Red Squadron?
I think it was called Red 5.
Red 5. So what if they made a movie called, like, Blue 6? Would you hate that?
Isn't it like how, like, the Hateful Eight is coming out, and then because of the Hateful Eight, there's, like, another movie called, like, The Magnificent Seven, and now Adam Sandler's making The Ridiculous Six.
Ugh.
And then there's Fast 5.
Fast 5's unrelated.
It's unrelated. It came out a long time ago. I'm just going down the...
Yeah.
But,
I understand what you mean. Like, I don't know. But Rogue One, I'm very excited for it. Gareth Edwards, great visual director. I hope that the story's good.
I think that it will be. I think Gareth Edwards is a very competent director. I think that Godzilla... I don't know if all the problems in that movie stem to him, and I understand the fear of him not getting the characters right. But I mean, I think he can. I think Bryan Cranston was great in Godzilla. Like I think his character was great, and the movie just went down this like weird writing path where they killed this great character who ended up not having any impact on the movie, which was really strange. And then they followed his son, who was so boring.
Godzilla has its problems, but what it needed to nail, it nailed.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a fan. I like that Godzilla movie. I think the characters were weak, but it's like you just said. The things that needed to happen in Godzilla, the things that had to happen the right way, worked. And he set the stage for that whole universe that is eventually gonna come to fruition with all these new kaiju movies. But
we should talk about some of the cast for Star Wars Rogue One. We have Alan Tudyk, who I love.
Oh, he's in that? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, apparently. Dude, I just looked up the cast. Then we have Diego Luna, who I don't know a lot about. We have Forrest Whitaker, who's awesome.
I love
Felicity Jones, like you said, Mads Mikkelsen. And Donnie Yen.
I don't know who that is.
And whoa. Riz 8 what's it called? I don't know how his last name, but I just look at this guy and yeah, correct. Do you remember the guy from Nightcrawler that was working with Jake Gyllenhaal's character? Like what was his name?
You mean are you talking about the young guy?
Yeah. Apparently he's in Rogue One too.
No way. What was his name in Nightcrawler?
His name was I know that Mads Mikkelsen and people like that are confirmed, but I'm just reading. Some of these people might be rumored, but who knows? I would say his name was Rick.
Yes,
in Nightcrawler. Rick. But yeah, great cast. Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker is a great actor. Mads Mikkelsen is a great actor too. He's also in Doctor Strange, and that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, Hannibal.
Felicity Jones, great actress. I am excited to see what she does. She just won an Oscar, so I mean.
Oh yeah.
Great pick. They really went after talent for this movie, which I think is important because
they did.
I I think there's like this disconnect between. I always say that there's always going to be this disconnect between the prequels and this new trilogy they're making. But I think when they made The Force Awakens, there was like clear intentions to use actors that nobody knew about. And
like John Boyega, Daisy.
Yeah, John Boyega and Daisy Ridley are completely unknown.
To
actors.
be fair, we have like Gwendolyn Christie, Donald Gleason,
but those
and
people,
Oscar Isaac.
Nobody really knows those people though.
Gwendolyn Christie?
Yeah, I mean Game of Thrones fans know her, but she's barely going to be in the movie. But like,
no, I think Phasma's going to be in the movie a lot.
I think she's going to have about as much screen time as Boba Fett did.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's going to be her purpose.
I hope that she's a 3 trilogy. Trilogy.
I hope.
Yeah,
I hope she stays the whole time because that design of Captain Phasma is so cool.
Yeah.
Like a freaking chrome stormtrooper with a cape. That's awesome. And then she's a great actress. She's a cool person. I'm happy that she's in Star Wars. But anyway, I think when they were making Rogue One, it was like, okay, we're going to go after talent, even if some people know. And they didn't get, like, huge names or anything. I mean, the biggest name in there is probably Forrest Whitaker, right?
Yeah, probably.
And Felicity Jones is, she's getting known. Because she just came off of Theory of Everything, and, she's won an Oscar for it. She's been in some movies that have been bad, which is not her fault, but, she's in a lot of stuff. And Mads Mikkelsen is a great actor, but nobody knows who he is, but he's a great actor.
Yeah, also, I'd like to talk about his character, and he signed, like, a Star Wars thing for a fan, and he signed it Star Wars Rogue One Galen. And there is another Galen character, Galen Merrick, who is Starkiller.
Yes.
Although it's confused. It's like Galen Merrick is the original and Starkiller is the clone. Whatever. Galen Merrick. No, I don't think he's Galen Merrick at all.
No.
No. Yeah. No. Do you?
Here's what I would think. I think he isn't. But I also
think
might
be a homage.
It might be a homage. I thought the homage was the Starkiller base.
Well, I think that's more towards like that it was
I know,
originally
it's
Luke
the original
Starkiller.
Luke Starkiller, which would have been a disaster title or a disaster name for your hero. Right? Skywalker is much more uplifting than Starkiller.
Yeah.
But
I like both names.
I would honestly, I would like it if they brought the Force Unleashed, story a little bit. I mean, Rogue One is not going to have anything to do with that storyline at all. But I'm a big fan of that storyline, and I'd like to see it kind of become canon again, because I thought it was just really well done. It's an interesting story with a character who's not really on any particular side. He's like kind of conflicted, and just really fun, cool characters. Just everything you'd want in Star Wars. So I'd like it to come back. But
I'd like to see if any of these characters are aliens.
Yeah.
I can totally see Forrest Whitaker as an alien. Can't you?
I can. That's why I laugh.
So the brief premise of Rogue One is following the foundation of the Galactic Empire, a wayward band of rebel fighters comes together to carry out a desperate mission to steal the plans for the Death Star before it can be used to enforce the Emperor's rule. Awesome. That sounds great.
I can't wait to see space battles with modern visual effects.
Yeah.
Because
we might get some of that in Force Awakens.
Yeah, and the stuff we've already seen from Force Awakens, where there's just X-Wing shooting down TIE fighters,
is beautiful.
It makes me just sad.
Cry.
Happy sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just so happy.
It's just oh my god, I can't believe I'm watching this right now. It's such a weird reaction. It's like, did that just happen? Is that really? We were talking about the the TV spots that have been coming out, the new ones. I've been kind of trying to avoid them.
I've watched them all.
I kind of been trying to avoid them just so I don't have to watch everything. But Stoops was like, you gotta see TV spot number 6, and he sent it to me, and I watched it, and I was like, that was like the most exciting 30 seconds of my life. It was just, beat after beat, awesome, and just spaceships and lightsabers, and this movie just looks so exciting.
That's the Finn one, right?
Yeah, that's the one where the stormtrooper, pulls out that weird PVC pipe taser. That's what it looks like. And then Finn just is like, I got a lightsaber now, dude. And then he goes and tries to chop him up. It's going to be great.
It's like a riot. Like, people were like, it's like before we got to see that whole trailer, people were like, he's fighting a riot trooper. But no, that's a regular stormtrooper.
Yeah. And I've always loved in Star Wars. Oh, I'm sorry.
He just has I called it what did I call it? An electro staff. It's like that. Yeah, it's like a pike looking thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's not a lightsaber, but I said in my breakdown / review, it's like if they're after Luke, it makes sense that they'd have weapons like that.
Yeah, there's probably some, I like in Star Wars when you see like the different like military classes of all the stormtroopers. And they each have their own, specialty. They're like stormtroopers that are, just snipers, and then there are ones that have flamethrowers and
scout troopers.
Yeah, scout troopers, the snow
shadow troopers.
Like I like seeing all of them.
Shock troopers.
And I'd like to see if there was a little class of stormtroopers where it was like Jedi defense, like prepared to, be there and help Kylo Ren or something if they went after Luke Skywalker, if they ever found him. Because that weapon is clearly designed to block lightsaber attacks.
Lightsabers, yeah.
Yeah, what else would it do? It can't do anything else. Other than maybe hit somebody, but...
Yeah, and if they don't have a blaster, they're going to get blasted away if they're coming at someone with the blaster.
Yeah, that weapon is clearly more for defense than it is for, just attack. Because it's mounted on... the front of his arm like a shield would be. So that has to be a lightsaber defense weapon.
I love how the stormtrooper pulls that out in that trailer. He's just like, what up? That's exactly what he's like. He's like, come at me, bro.
You know what it reminded me of for some reason?
And Finn just lifts up the lightsaber and he's like, challenge accepted.
Yeah. It reminded me of something that didn't even make sense, but it reminded me of when in Terminator 2, when the guy comes out of the bar going to chase after him with the gun, and he shoots it in the air and tells him that he can't take the bike, and then the Terminator goes up to him, and he takes the gun, and then he takes the sunglasses. That's what it reminded me of for some reason.
Why does that makes no sense?
I said it makes no sense. It just popped into my head. I was like, man, that Stormtrooper's like a total badass, like the Terminator.
Yeah, I like that too. And of course, the stormtroopers are regular guys, which I thought was something that a lot of people grasped. That initially, when the empires formed, there were clones that were stormtroopers, but eventually the clones just kind of fell out, and then it was regular people.
Yeah.
So I remember people I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and why is there a black stormtrooper? I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm just thinking to myself, it's clearly you're not a huge Star Wars fan, because you would know that the clones fell out after a while, and that their lifespan is half a normal person's, because they're engineered to grow up fast, and so they're ready for war at an appropriate age. What was it? I think it's in the Clone Wars movie, Attack of the Clones, they're these troops are 10 years old, but they're 20 years old in the body because they're accelerated age and they're ready to go. But again, that makes sense, and that's why Star Wars is awesome, is at Revenge of the Sith, the clones were being produced less and less, and it was becoming a little bit unstable. Some of the clones weren't quite as sharp as the original ones. Yeah. It's a whole bunch of stuff that it went into. And eventually, like I said, the clones just kind of died out.
Yeah, it's because they didn't have a lot of budget for the CGI anymore. They ran out. See what I did there?
I see what you did there. It's like
I remember when the first trailer came out last Thanksgiving, which is crazy to think that it's been a year.
Oh wow!
Isn't that crazy? I just realized that. But
yeah, in the Jurassic World trailer came out Thanksgiving Day too.
Yeah, I remember seeing that trailer and not even like I didn't understand it. Like I didn't even know it was real. I thought it was fake. And I was like, is this really it? I wasn't disappointed. I was just like, I'm shocked. Is this a Star Wars trailer? I wasn't ready to accept the reality. And then it hit me like an hour later. I was like, oh my god.
And then everyone was like making like funny jokes of like the fin coming out of the bottom of the frame.
Yeah, everybody made their own version of the trailer where there was like
Black Stormtrooper.
Remember the George Lucas edition trailer and then Michael Bay edition, and there was all product placement. That was really fun. But I remember when that trailer came out, there were so many people where they were like, how come the Stormtroopers are all at different heights?
Yeah.
Are they supposed to be clones?
I remember specifically going online and I'm like, wow, I'm excited to hear what people thought about the cross-guarded lightsaber. And nope. Like there was talk of the cross-guarded lightsaber, but all black stormtrooper talk. And I was just thinking like, that didn't even cross my mind. Like I didn't think that was out of place at all. You know?
Yeah, I remember it jump scared me when I saw it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, a black person. It was just like, oh my god, there's a person.
Yeah, but it's like, it just like
and then
out.
They did the music from, it was very reminiscent of the Return of the Jedi scene, where they're at the Sarlacc pit and they're doing like the nods at each other. Yeah, it's like that weird, really sudden like trombone or whatever it is. And it just scared the crap out of me the first time I saw it. I had no idea what was happening.
And Luke nods to R2-D2.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, or does he nod to? No, it's R2-D2. He nods to R2-D2.
Mm-hmm. And then
because Lando's on
shimmy.
The skiff with him. And then ba 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 ba. He like jumps off and does like the flip.
And then he shoots the lightsaber
in the air.
And he grabs it with the force.
And it's like green, and you're like, as a kid, it's like, I didn't even know it could be green. You just freak out.
I talked to you about this before. I love that scene. It's one of my favorite scenes in movie history. And one of the reasons I think it's so good is because I think it's clever. Because that scene is just a pirate ship fight. That scene is two pirate ships, and there are people swinging off the sails to the other boats, and they have their swords, and they're sword fighting, and some people have muskets, and they're shooting. And, he goes and he grabs Princess Leia, and then they both swing to the other ship together. It's very much a pirate scene, but it's got, like, the Star Wars desert, there are lightsabers and laser swords. And
it's great.
It's so much fun. And I think that was, all the people that made that movie probably watched a lot of things like that, when they were kids, and they were like, oh, let's have, like, a fun kind of, like, pirate swashbuckling fight scene. Like, I want Star Wars to do more things like that, because I thought it was just so creative. It's such a good friggin' scene.
I love all those movies.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's like, it's okay, I can see a lot better now.
Yeah, I've said that's the best thing that came out of the special editions, because that's not the line in the theatrical editions.
Oh, it's not?
It's not. In the theatrical edition, what happens was Lando's like, oh my god, you gotta help me or something. He's like, I'm gonna shoot it. And he's like, higher. And he's like, it's okay, trust me. That was like his line. It was something like that. And then in the special edition, they used the other take where it's like, it's okay, I can see a lot better. Which I think is a much better take. It's really funny.
It's hilarious.
It's so funny. He's totally blind, and he's trying to shoot at the thing that's grabbing onto Lando, and Lando's freaking out because he's like, He's gonna shoot me in the face. You can't freaking see anything. And he's like, it's okay. I can see a lot better. Such a funny scene.
That's one of my biggest problems with the prequels, honestly, is just awkward humor.
Yeah, I thought me and Stoops have watched. We watched like the beginning of the Phantom Menace and we gave up.
Yeah, the movie.
And then we watched Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
And it's not as bad as like I've said it before. I like Revenge of the Sith. I was saying this to Anthony. I said, I think I worded it pretty well. I was like, I accept Revenge of the Sith in my Star Wars package. Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah. You also said something like, it's better than most things.
Yeah, I said it's... I like Revenge of the Sith a lot. Yeah. I like the soundtrack. It's just, the music is great, and you're a music guy. You know that Revenge of the Sith music is great.
I will never knock on the prequels or, bitch about it because of the music. Because the music was good. And the people at Red Letter Media said this. They said that in the prequels, they took a lot of the original themes and they kind of made them more like mystical, kind of woodwind sounding, fast-paced style. But that's not a bad thing. It was fun music to listen to. And now with this new trilogy, they're making it like epic, booming sound in your face. Like
it's just like Star Wars. Back.
It's like Star Wars is happening like you've never seen it before. That's like what they're...
I love it.
That's the kind of new style with this music. But I think Revenge of the Sith is a pretty good movie. It's not my favorite movie. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but I don't hate it. It's a fine movie.
You were actually
I get more
surprised.
out of it. I get more out of it than I would have to complain about.
Uh-huh.
But there is a line in that movie that is so not funny, and it's trying to be funny, and it's not.
What?
Where Anakin's like, you can thank me for saving you 10 times, or saving your life 10 times, or whatever. And then Obi-Wan's like 9 times, that one thing doesn't count, or whatever. Like, it tries to be funny, and it's not funny.
But also, there was a really, really touching scene in Revenge of the Sith, and I think it's like one of the most touching scenes in all of Star Wars. And if you want to talk about it, like I was talking about it, we were watching the movie, and then I just stopped, and I was like, I don't remember that scene very well, but that was pretty awesome, honestly. I like that.
It's just a small character moment when Obi-Wan is trying to comfort Anakin because
Anakin's like, I'm sorry I've been such a jerk, and Obi-Wan is like, you're a far better Jedi than I could ever hope to be, and you will be named like a master soon enough. And he basically is just like, Anakin's apologizing to him for being arrogant, and Obi-Wan's like, dude, you're great. You put it perfectly. You were like, Anakin saying I'm sorry, and Obi-Wan saying don't worry about it. You're awesome, dude.
Yeah,
it's
I like that scene a lot. Moment. There's honestly a couple of like really good character moments in Revenge of the Sith. You and me, we both really like this one when Yoda walks into the room and there are the 2 red.
The Royal Guards.
The Royal Guards.
The Imperial Guards.
They walk into the room, the Royal Guards turn their head at Yoda, and Yoda just smashes him against the wall with the Force. And knocks him out. It's just a fun little character moment.
Yeah.
I like that. There's a lot of that in that movie. There's a
lot
of
so much in
depressing stuff, like Anakin killing a bunch of younglings.
Yeah.
Because you can't say children. Can't say he killed 30 kids. But
I don't think that it's needlessly bad or needlessly dark, though.
Yeah. But,
honestly, that's just what I think. Maybe
we watched that scene and we analyzed it a little bit, just like really thinking about it, and we were trying to think of what was going on in these kids' head. They're terrified. Yeah. There is a war going on, and
they've probably seen their masters get killed.
Yeah, they're hiding behind couches. And Anakin walks in,
where are they?
And the kids
they're in the council room, right?
Yeah, and the kids stand up, and they look at Anakin, and it's like,
Master
Anakin,
Skywalker.
Yeah, Master Skywalker.
Blah,
What's
blah,
going
blah.
on?
What
Is
are we
everything
going
okay?
to do?
And then Anakin turns on his lightsaber, and then he just proceeds to kill them all.
Well, we don't see him kill them, but
that's what he did.
Oh man, so depressing.
It is. Poor kids.
Yeah, they were just like, oh, they were like, there's too
And-
many of them. What are we going to do? And Anakin's just like,
And well, we also watched Attack of the Clones.
which was not as bad as you.
Not as
remembered
bad
it.
as I remembered.
I like that. I like that movie. There's got some parts to it.
Yeah, it's got parts to it. It's pretty, on par with average things. It's pretty okay. It's fine. But like, I remembered that movie is worse than Phantom Menace.
No.
And the reason why I said it was worse than Phantom Menace is because I thought it was forgettable. And it is a little bit, or a lot of it. But we tried watching Phantom Menace, and it is so hard to watch Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Like,
for me, in my opinion, at least.
We were talking about it when we were watching. We got about 20 minutes into Phantom Menace.
And it was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been sitting here for 3 hours.
I was trying to decipher what was happening. I was like, okay, there's an army on a planet with a bunch of droids. There are these two weird Jedis that, are on a spaceship and they're getting gassed out of rooms. And now there's this underwater planet that's inside of this planet, and they all
It moves too fast.
Yeah, and like Jar Binks and all the Gungans.
Attack of the Clones, actually.
There's all these politics. And then Stoop said to me, he said, you know what happened, or you know what is going on in the original Star Wars in the first 20 minutes? Kids in the desert. That's it.
Well, they had the cool opening, but then it's just like Luke, and he wants to be something. He wants to go on an adventure, and it's simple.
Yeah.
And it's it's a personal story.
Yeah, and there's this, like, in the Phantom Menace, there's like this friggin' princess. And it's like, who is she, and who are these people? Does she have a body double? What's going on?
And this is like the first 40 minutes. What did we quit? I think we quit at like 45 minutes.
I fell asleep at like 20 minutes. I fell asleep watching it. I fell asleep watching it. I gave up and I fell asleep.
I just turned it off. I don't even remember what happened, but I just turned it off.
Yeah.
But you were like, when we watched Attack of the Clones, something different actually happened. You were like, oh my gosh, we've been watching this movie for 45 minutes. It was like, it's different because it's entertaining, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, stuff is happening. Assassination plot. Got it. That's what's going on right now. It's like politics and barriers and trades and Sith and midichlorians, and it's just so much to take in.
Yeah, and I mean, the Attack of the Clones is not a great movie at all. I barely consider it an okay movie, but there's a lot of weird things in it. Which
I think the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith gets needless hate. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, like, they're not as bad as people
They're not as good as the original trilogy, but at the same time, the original trilogy movies like that don't come around very often at all. Like, I'm thinking like
are lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, like Lord of the Rings.
Great movies.
I wouldn't even say the Dark Knight trilogy, even though I love that trilogy.
Yeah.
That's not on Star Wars level.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, honestly, there's one other trilogy, in my opinion, that's on the level, and that's Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. But that's just my opinion.
And Toy Story.
No,
and Back to the Future.
I don't think so. No. I don't.
I know. I'm joking. It's
those are great trilogies, but I just don't think that they're Star Wars level. Star Wars level, that's like hard.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a reason that movie came out. What is it? Like,
77.
How long? Yeah,
it came out in 77, and then Return of the Jedi came out in 83, I think, or 82.
There's a reason the movies came out in the 70s, and it is still the biggest franchise ever.
Yeah. Dude,
there's a reason for that. That doesn't just happen.
I went to Walmart today, and I saw a gigantic Millennium Falcon in a gigantic AT-AT.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's just everywhere right now. Every place you go, there is Star Wars things, and that's all people are doing. It's like we already said, this movie made $50 million in pre-sale tickets.
Uh-huh.
Star Wars is like the biggest. This movie's gonna friggin' I'm calling it world peace. I think people all over the world are gonna see this and they're gonna be like, why are we fighting? Let's get together and watch some Star Wars.
Yeah, and I'm happy this happened because I remember a time when like the Clone Wars was the new Star Wars stuff that I would watch, and I've watched all of Clone Wars, all of Rebels so far, and just because I love Star Wars so much, and it's just amazing that like even just a little tiny bit of it, like the Clone Wars, I would get so excited for the new episodes of Clone Wars, and when Darth Maul came back, I lost my freaking mind. And that's just a TV show, and it's just like I thought that we would eventually get an episode 7, but I'm just glad that I get to be here for it and to be like, I feel competent isn't the best word to use, but I feel like I can appreciate it. I'm glad that I'm old enough to appreciate it now and enjoy it.
Also, like, what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
I am so happy that I am alive in the year 2015. Because there's just all this awesome crap that's just going to start happening. Like, we've already had awesome stuff.
I've never been so excited for a movie in my life.
We are in a time where if you are a nerd who enjoys going to the movies, like, I don't understand how people could have, like, sustaining jobs. Like, how do you not just sit at home and watch your Netflix movies and then go to the movie theater and watch your Star Wars? And it's so weird. This stuff wasn't happening 5 years ago. It's dumbfounding. But
I don't know. Like, I've never been. I remember the movie other than this the movie that I've most been excited for in my whole life before was actually, believe it or not, X-Men Origins Wolverine, because I'm a huge Wolverine fan. That was the movie that I just was like just so excited for, because being a fan of the X-Men movies and stuff. But this hype for this movie just like far outweighs it, because when I was going into the like X-Men Origins theater, I was like being a little, or not like a little kid, but a kid, knowing like this is a movie. But I feel like every single time I watch a piece of trailer for The Force Awakens or just a TV spot, it's not like just watching that. It's like an experience, and the music and everything.
Yeah.
I hope it's done right. I think it will be.
I said this to my dad before. We were watching the Star Wars trailer, and he said that if it wasn't for the music, the trailer wouldn't be very impressive.
Yeah.
And well, it wasn't that. It wasn't. He wasn't dissing the visuals.
Which trailer is this?
This was the third one, and he was just saying like the music brings it to a whole nother place where it's like if you took it out, it wouldn't be nearly as fun. Which is true, I think. But I started to say like, that music is in about 30 seconds of that first Star Wars movie.
Uh-huh.
You know, and he's looking at the two suns. And it's so friggin' good that people have just remembered it.
Yeah.
For 40 years, people have just had that in their head.
I
know they repeated it in the movies, but like, it took 30 seconds of that, and then it just stayed with everybody. And I think that's very impressive. Like, this whole franchise sticks with people, and right now we're going through like this weird cultural hype, which I don't think has ever really happened in movie history the way it's happening right now. It's everywhere you go. This is what everything looks like. There's Star Wars stuff everywhere. Everybody's wearing Star Wars shirts. I saw like 10 people wearing Star Wars shirts today, and it's like shocking. And if this movie sucks, I'm gonna freaking go crazy.
I can pretty confidently say it won't suck.
I know it won't suck. I'm positive it won't suck. But what if? Could you imagine the state of our country after this if it was a bad movie? Like,
people made it through the
People would stop going to work. Our economy would crash. You know, there would be mass suicides. It would really be a bummer.
It would definitely be a bummer. Like you were talking about the music in the trailer. I like the best part. My favorite part of it, as far as the music goes, is when we see like the back of Kylo Ren's mask, and it's like the dark music starts to come on.
Yeah,
and then it just goes awesome.
I like that too because it was kind of playing with the characters every time it showed a new one. Because it started out, all the notes were the same. It was, these like just long sustaining piano notes, and it gets to Kylo Ren, and then suddenly it just gets like really big and dark and like a dirty synth sound, and it was like, I thought, really clever, like visual and audio. What's the word I'm looking for? Pairing. It was a cool visual and audio pairing where it was like you go through the characters, and when it got to Han, it played his theme, and then when it did all the awesome space battles, it's just playing the Star Wars theme. I thought it was just very well executed, but I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.
I'm also a huge fan of Kylo Ren's voice. We've heard him say like not a whole lot of stuff. Thing I've heard him say is just great. Like he says, "That weapon is mine."
Mm-hmm.
What, you're just a scavenger? And he says, "I will fulfill my destiny." And nothing will stand. Finish what you started. He's just.
I love everything about Kylo Ren so far. I love his design. I love his voice. I love his lightsaber. His lightsaber is amazing. And they gotta fix the toys now.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
They have like modified Kylo Ren's lightsaber. So there's like the crossguard, and there's the two metal kind of pipes, I guess. I don't know what to call them, that stick out of the side, and that's where the crossguard comes
exhaust ports, almost.
Yeah, that's apparently what it is. We've gotten a description of the lightsaber saying that it's a very ancient design, but it's newly constructed, I assume, from Kylo Ren himself. And it says that the crossguard is just raw power that's just coming out of the sides, because it's just so powerful. It just needs places where it could go that isn't just in the main saber, which if you think about it, I don't think that makes total sense, but it doesn't matter because it's Star Wars. I don't need their lightsabers to make perfect sense. But now they've done this thing where it's like they've exposed part of the crossguard on the top, so you wouldn't be able to cut through that metal piece.
Yeah, we see that in the TV spot too.
Yeah, which is
where it's just like right on his lightsaber, and we see it activate.
It's good because it's practical. I didn't think it was practical because when I first saw it, I thought, can't you just cut the crossguard off?
Yeah, no, but it's like the top is cut off.
Yeah, the top is cut off, so the lightsaber is exposed, so you can't cut it off.
Also,
the toys need to be fixed now because they're
also
they never changed it.
Lightsabers aren't like swords, guys. They don't slide once you connect.
Yeah, and they also don't weigh anything.
But the blade doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah, the blade doesn't. Of course, that's what I mean.
But I'm saying, like, it's like lightsabers connect is what it's called. Obviously, don't slide. Like it's not like a sword where you slide down. Yeah. I don't. Maybe. It's gonna be interesting to see. I just remember freaking out, like seeing him pull out the lightsaber and seeing, like, okay, there's one blade right there, and then I was like, oh my gosh, there's two more. First time I saw it.
You ever see that? Great. You ever see that picture where it shows a picture of Darth Vader, and it was like first trilogy, and it shows his lightsaber, and then it says second trilogy, and it shows Darth Maul's lightsaber with the two blades, and then it says third trilogy, and it's Kylo Ren's with the three blades.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, also, I'm so surprised now. Like, at the time, it wasn't so surprising, but now we got to hear Supreme Leader Snoke in the very first teaser, and then we have gotten
Yeah,
literally
nothing.
nothing else.
Nothing.
Besides him just
We've
Andy
gotten
Serkis sitting
freaking
in
Maz
motion.
Kanata talking about everybody's eyes or something, and no more Snoke.
I just think it's weird that they chose his voiceover for the first one and not, like, the last one. You know?
I like it.
I think he sounds great.
I think it's clever for one reason, and that is that I don't think anybody will know that that's Supreme Leader Snoke. Like, it came out at first. That trailer with that voiceover came out, I think, before we even knew what Supreme Leader Snoke's name was.
Yeah, no, we didn't know what his name was.
I bet most people have no clue that that's his voice or who that character is, or if that character is even in the movie. I bet most people just don't know about it. But you know, I like that they're saving him, and I'm so curious to find out who he is.
What he looks like, who he is.
Mm-hmm. How tall is he?
Is he 30 feet tall?
Is he a 30-foot tall snake monster like the rumor suggests?
I doubt it.
So, Stoops, how would you feel if Supreme Leader Snoke was a 30-foot tall snake? How would you feel if Supreme Leader Snoke was a Titanoboa?
Oh my gosh. I doubt that's true.
I
hope it's
not. I mean, in the context of the movie, which I haven't seen, it might make perfect sense.
It might be
fine. Amazing.
It might work.
It might be the coolest thing you've ever seen. We don't know.
But like,
I've never seen a 30-foot tall Sith Lord. It might be amazing.
Yeah.
It's just like, just a little weird.
So real quick, one last top, and this one, make it brief. How do we feel about Star Wars Battlefront?
I don't have it. I'll probably never buy it. It's a stupid game.
Really?
I know it's fine. It's fine. I think they made mistakes with it though.
Yeah.
And when I talk about this, I'm talking purely from the perspective of a person that knows nothing about video games and doesn't care how much money you gotta freaking pay for them, because I would never download a DLC. I don't like. Here's the thing. I brought it up in this podcast before. There's a disconnect from the prequels because there are just too many haters. There are too many people that just want to do nothing but crap all over the prequels. But that doesn't mean Battlefront 2, I still think, is one of the most fun video games you could ever play.
Yeah.
And there's so much variety that you could, have in that game. There's so many heroes and there's so many maps, and you get to like explore Star Wars. And in this movie, or in this video game, they decided to make it original trilogy, which is fine. But I feel like they lacked even with that. Like,
no story mode.
No, there's no story mode. There's like
4 maps.
There's 6,
not counting
there's 6
Jakku.
heroes. There are Princess Leia,
6 heroes.
Han, and Luke are the heroes, and then Darth Vader, the Emperor, and Boba Fett are the villains. Which, I hate to break it to you guys, but Boba Fett's barely a villain. And
yeah, he's not really in the movies a lot.
Yeah, so
it's got a cool design though.
He's got a great design.
I love him.
Freaking amazing. But it's like, I get that people don't like the prequels, but I mean, if you're gonna only explore the original trilogy universe, why don't you make a Death Star map?
We were talking about this. Like, why no Death Star map?
Why not have where are the space battles? Why isn't there a space battle just out in space, not, a mile above a planet?
Also, it's like, DLC is coming out. DLC, but then it turns into $110 game.
It's weird. I feel bad for the video game people who spend thousands of dollars on video games. It seems like it shouldn't be that expensive. I don't know how the industry works. I'm not that in depth with it. But it just feels like, I'm sure the game is fun to play. I'm sure it looks beautiful.
Like the graphics are great and the sound is great. It's just it seems so very limited.
Yeah, it's like, I've said this 1,000 times, but Star Wars is a big thing, and it seems like everybody's trying to make it as small as possible. But that's how I feel about this game. You know what? I get it. The prequels aren't great movies by any stretch, but you know what? The character designs and the different maps or the different like planets that you could explore in the prequels aren't the problem, and they could have easily put that in the game, and you could have been more heroes and more villains. And I was saying this too. It's like they have 6 heroes in this game, or 3 heroes, 3 villains. And it's because they can't stretch it out. You can't make Lando Calrissian a playable hero and have it be fun. Or Admiral Akbar. I mean, you can't... Maybe you could have done more bounty hunters, I guess.
Like Dengar and Bosk and IG-88.
IG-88. I love IG-88 for some reason. He's a better character than Boba Fett.
No.
Because he's just a robot with a weird friggin' oval face. I love him. But
anyway, but it's like in Battlefront 2, you can play as Ayla Secura on Felucia.
Yeah.
And it's like, how obscure can you get in Battlefront?
And on Felucia,
Princess Leia on Tatooine.
Yeah. And on Felucia. Felucia, I can't say that planet. Felucia. Like, they're those weird green spider creatures?
Yeah, that you could run into. Those things were terrifying and awesome.
Yeah, like, there's so many things that I feel like it was unnecessary, and it just seemed a little lazy and a little, I think
the people that worked on Battlefront 2 clearly put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah. I think that game is still fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not, crapping all over this game as far as, like, its first-person shooterness. I don't even know how to describe it. I hear people talk about first-person shooters, and it's like, yeah, it's a pretty basic first-person shooter, not very great control. Or I have no idea what they're talking about. I am so confused whenever I hear anybody, because they're just so involved with it, and I don't play video games. But, like, the game looks great, and there's a lot of interesting things. I like when they put up the shields, and there's, like, airstrikes, and...
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
You could be in one of the snow speeders and take down AT-ATs. There's cool stuff in there. Like, it looks like a lot of fun, but it just seems like there's barely any of it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, are there any Ewoks?
On Endor?
I
would assume so.
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any yet.
Me neither. Oh my gosh.
That's always
I haven't played the game either, but...
Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever end up playing it. I might go get it one day, but maybe I think I'm gonna wait and see if any of this stuff happens. Because like when a video game comes out and they think they could fix something, and then like a few months later, half a year later, whatever, they come out with like the special version and they added stuff. Like
a patch.
Yeah, something. I don't know. I don't know.
Like they had like the Arkham City Game of the Year edition where it like had the bonus story mode and all the DLC characters, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You want like the complete version for like $60.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like a waste of... Also, I'd have to get like a console. I don't even have a console. But it's just a weird thing. I don't get it.
And this is really sad to hear, honestly, from you, because like 2 months ago, anything Battlefront related, you were like freaking out, so excited.
You know why? Because they had such great trailers. There's a trailer where you see like a TIE fighter trying to destroy an X-Wing, and then the Millennium Falcon swoops up from under it and destroys it. And then it says, like, you hear Han Solo, and he's like, I don't remember what he said. He's just like, woohoo! Or, like, he says something, and then he's like, he says, never tell me the odds. He's like, just saying all this cool Han Solo stuff. And then
you get to see Vader and Luke clash.
Yeah, Vader and Luke fighting. There's a scene where Darth Vader's on Hoth, and he's attacking all these people, and then you just hear Han Solo scream, "Now it's my turn!" And then he runs and pushes a bunch of stormtroopers out of the way, and then starts shooting at Darth Vader with his blaster, and it's like, oh my god, that looks like the most fun ever. But I can't do that for a long time. It seems like a waste if that's all you can do. I mean, it's a cool trailer, but it got me excited, but it's like it just seems like there's barely anything to play. You go and if you go to like Battlefront 2, and then you do
there's so much to do.
If you go to like the instant action feature, you could scroll down a list of like 25 different places you could play.
And game modes too.
Yeah, there's like probably 4 different game modes for every single one of them, and there's about 10 different space battles and like 15 different planets, something like that. And it's such a variety, and it's so cool. And then you could do hero mode, and there's like 10 heroes or like maybe 8 heroes on each side.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
And it's like, just hectic and crazy. And
I said this to Soups too. In this whole game, in this Star Wars Battlefront, there are 2 lightsabers. There's Darth Vader's lightsaber, and there's Luke's lightsaber, and nothing else. I'm not saying that's I'm not saying I don't love their lightsabers. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to play them, fighting each other. It's just like that's the only option. I like a little variety in my Star Wars.
Not just so. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to end our podcast on kind of a bummer.
Okay, let's have a happy moment.
We're gonna read a couple of comments from my Star Wars videos that I got here. Just let me pull up some of the comments. And this one, I guess we'll read some Darth Plagueis theory video thoughts. Some comments on them. So it looks like the top rated comment is "but he is dead" with 60 thumbs up.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, he might not be dead.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway,
for the record, I don't think Darth Plagueis is going to be involved in this trilogy at all.
Yeah, it's still interesting.
It's interesting for sure, and it would be a cool little thing, I guess. I just don't think it's going to happen.
So this comment has 49 thumbs up, and it's pretty long. So let's go ahead and read this. This is from David James, and it was a week ago, so he probably is not watching, but who knows? So many people are convinced it's Darth Plagueis. I would love it to be. It would be such a good twist, and great that Palpatine would have been fooled and wrong about his master. Darth Plagueis mastering the art of cheating death without Sidious's knowledge seems the most plausible. I think Snoke has got to be someone who has someone who has strong ties to the past. Which makes sense. That's pretty cool. If he isn't Plagueis, and he's just some new power that's come out of nowhere, I think that'll be a hard thing to believe. Anakin destroyed the Sith seemingly for eternity. The only way to not lessen the achievement he made in Episode 6 was if he and Sidious had been fooled by Plagueis' apparent demise. If someone else just comes along and says, "Oh, so Anakin Skywalker brought balance to the Force and destroyed the Sith, but I'm just going to class myself as a Sith," it would be completely stupid and take away from Anakin's achievement and the prophecy of the Chosen One. Imagine if it was Plagueis, and Luke wasn't aware of who he was, and Luke asked his Force Ghost father, Anakin, could tell him... some spelling errors. Anakin could tell him what he knew of Plagueis, even if it's just what Sidious told him in Episode 3, or if Sidious shared other information with him in the years before their deaths. It would be awesome. So I really hope it is Plagueis, and if not, it's someone who has close ties to Sidious's past. That's a very well thought out and intelligent comment, and I agree fully with it.
Wrong.
You think so?
No, he made a lot of great points.
Yeah, with like
I just don't think. It's like I said, there's a disconnect with the prequels. I think they're gonna go out of their way to not bring it up.
Uh-huh. Oh, this comment
But
has
that was.
7
I am
thumbs
very
up.
impressed by that comment. That guy really worked
Did
hard.
research and
Yeah.
worked hard on that comment. I like that comment. It makes a lot of sense. Luke Floyd did not work as hard on his comment.
Come on, Luke Floyd.
And his comment has more likes than his.
The friggin'
97 likes. It sounds insane to say, but I hope it's Jar Jar effing Binks.
I do too, man.
No, you don't.
The balls.
You tell me to shut up when I talk about the Jar Jar theory.
Listen,
I was like,
that theory.
I was like, hey, Anthony, you want to hear about this cool Star Wars theory that people have been talking about? It is like Jar Jar Binks. And you're like, no, shut up, get out.
Yeah, I would say that. Listen, that Jar Jar Binks theory, I understand the reason why this is a theory. I understand, I guess, what the original intention of the character of Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be. I think of this two ways. There is no way on Earth they will ever mention Jar Jar Binks in this new movie. Jar Jar Binks is the single most hated character in cinematic history as far as I am aware. I can't think of any other character that is hated more than Jar Jar Binks.
I'm trying to think of one.
Can you?
I'm coming up at a loss, man. I just don't know. Huh?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the other way I think of this. If J.J. Abrams...
Well, I guess Hitler's been in movies.
Hitler's a real character. They're real. I call him a real character.
I don't know. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks is the most hated fictional character.
You know what? I think that's why they make more World War II movies than World War I movies, is because World War II had a villain. But, that's very true. Here's the other way I think of this Jar Jar Binks theory. If J.J. Abrams made Jar Jar Binks the new emperor of this trilogy, he would have bigger balls than any other person in Hollywood. I don't know if there is a bigger FU to the audience that you could ever do in history. I mean, could you think of anything? What would be the biggest FU moment
in history
that you could pull off in the near future of movies?
I guess
like Thanos was Howard the Duck the whole time.
Yeah.
That wouldn't even be as big.
Yeah. We gotta.
Seriously, though, that's a good
comments.
analogy. That's a great analogy. That's like making Thanos Howard the Duck.
So this comment is from USSW Darth Zarkosis, and his comment is, "Thank God this is possibly the only comment section without the Reptilian Brotherhood." I love these comments on my Darth Plagueis theory, man.
What is the Reptilian Brotherhood?
I have no idea, but
I've heard of it.
Yeah, me too. It's like something that someone started, but one of his replies is hilarious. One of the replies.
Wait, there's some weird audio thing going on.
Oh, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
People just. Anyway.
I didn't hear what you said, dude. The audio messed up.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I'm just hoping it doesn't happen anymore.
Okay, so one more comment, and this is from Vampiric Yoda. Why was that so hard for me to say?
Vampire Diaries. Yep.
So his comment is, Plagueis is way too obscure a character for this to be a thing. Too many casual moviegoers would be, wait, who? That guy Palpatine talks about for 5 minutes in episode 3? Weird.
5? More like 30 seconds.
2 minutes, give or take.
20 seconds.
Anyway, that's kind of what you share his opinion too, but
I do.
I don't know. So I think that that makes a lot of sense too. I mean, it could go either way. I just made a little video about something that was going around, and I just kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
But
Got
I think
a lot of views.
Yeah, it did. Thank goodness. I'm happy. I'm glad a lot of people enjoyed it. Also, I think I'll read one more, and this is gonna come from my death predictions video, my Star Wars death prediction video. This guy was by Indiana Solo, and he says, "Just thinking about Han dying makes me cry. What am I gonna do if he really dies?"
Cry.
Yeah, exactly.
You answered your own question. I know that's what I'm gonna be doing.
Okay, Signed Bam wrote, I hope to God that Kylo Ren doesn't die. Kylo Ren looks like such an awesome character, and I don't think they will pull a Phantom Menace. I agree 100%.
Absolutely don't kill Kylo Ren.
Yeah, do not kill Kylo Ren. Kill Han Solo before you kill Kylo Ren.
Don't make this a prequel movie. Don't make this a Marvel movie.
One-off
kill
villain.
The villain.
Yeah.
Keep Kylo Ren for the trilogy.
Exactly, he's a trilogy villain. So anyway, that's it, guys. If you've listened to the whole Rule of Two podcast, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We have more Star Wars podcasts coming. Share all your opinions down in the comments down below, and write a comment about a theory you have about Force Awakens, Rogue One, anything, and your comment might get featured in the next Rule of Two podcast. So anyway, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe as always, and may the Force be with you always.